Today is a Saturday, and Maddy is taking Harry to the museum. Harry has never been to a museum before, but Maddy says he'll
fit right in.
The museum is a couple of miles away, so Harry and Maddy catch the train. Harry likes riding on the train. He likes to run up and down the carriage. Maddy doesn't like Harry doing this. See the smacked legs and the tears. Once Maddy and Harry leave the train, they head into town. The museum is in a large old building with plenty of rooms to explore.
I need to get some shopping,
says Maddy.
Go on, I'll meet you in a couple of hours.
Harry walks into the museum. See Maddy enter the nearest bar. Harry walks up to the information desk where he meets Mrs. Beckett. Mrs. Beckett is from Cornwall. Here, my lover, at the end of each sentence.
Do you live at the museum?
Asks Harry. Silly Harry. Mrs. Beckett says that she only works at the museum and she offers Harry a personal tour. What fun! Harry has a piece of flint which he found in the garden and he wants to know if it's anything special.
Can you tell me about this piece of rock, please?
Asks Harry. Mrs. Beckett has a good look at it and she tells Harry it used to be an arrowhead and was used for hunting. In the first cabinet in the museum, Mrs. Beckett shows Harry a similar arrowhead made out of antler.
This piece is about 100 years older than yours, but where it was made of antler, it turned into rock. My husband found it last year.
See a flaky old fossil in the cabinet. Mrs. Beckett leaves Harry to look at the rest of the museum on his own. Harry stands by the life-size evolution of man chart. Harry fits into the line. Do you know where Harry is standing? That's right, the middle. Mrs. Beckett finds Harry looking at a huge grandfather clock in the lobby.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to close the museum because I'm meeting up with somebody for lunch at an Italian restaurant,
says Mrs. Beckett.
That's okay,
says Harry.
I've got to go anyway. Thanks for all of your help.
Harry goes outside and meets Maddy. They walk back to the station together and get onto the train. Maddy has had a good time in town. See the uneasy stagger and the half-unbuttoned blouse. Maddy asks Harry,
How was your time at the museum?
Hit the panic button.
Well,
says Harry.
Mrs. Beckett was at the museum. She had a look at my tool and said that it was a very powerful weapon. She said it was very special and she had never seen one like it before. Then she compared it to her husband's, which was much older and looks like a fossil. Mrs. Beckett let me go and look at her treasures, but she told me not to touch them because they were very delicate. She said she had to go as she was going to have an Italian.
See the steam erupting from Maddy's ears. Do you know how to give a haircut on a moving train? Maddy does. See Harry's head hanging out of the window and the rapidly approaching tunnel. Poor Harry.